y'all, it's Lindsay. Today I wanted to talk to you about fair skin. This is kind of, I know, a random topic for a video, but one of the big reasons why I started watching YouTube probably 5 or 6 years ago is because I was looking for makeup tutorials for people with really pale skin like myself. I have red hair. I'm gonna put a little baby picture of me because I just really I think I was a really cute little redheaded baby. I wanted to talk to you about issues that come with having fair skin and my favorite products for fair skin, mostly foundations and concealers, but other things that kind of go along with that. It might seem kind of obvious, like, oh, just buy the lightest shade of foundation they make, or just find a foundation you like and buy your shade, but it's really not that easy. There are a lot of foundations that I've tried that you get the lightest shade and it shows up darker than the freckles on my face, orange or brown or whatever it is, but it is not light by any means. And I know that not every cosmetic brand can have a huge 40 shade range. I know that's not possible, but I thought maybe some of you other pale skin princesses out there could watch this video, just see kind of what I've gone through and just kind of chit chat today about it. Okay, now obviously this is my skin tone. I've watched a few videos that are kind of similar to this, and the girls will say, oh, well, I was younger, I used to self-tan, fake tan all the time, or go to the tanning bed. I've never really done that. I'm not gonna say oh, I'm conceited and I've been confident my whole life. I really think that I've gotten a lot of self-confidence in the past maybe year or so, and before then, I mean, I definitely don't think I'm hot shit right now, but I've gotten a lot of self-confidence, and I haven't always been that way, but I've never tried to be anything different than I am as far as appearance. I didn't go out and rub self-tanner all over my body. I've done that maybe twice in my life and I hated it. I've never once been to a tanning bed, and when I go to the beach, I kind of joke when I go to the beach and the pool that putting on sunscreen is a full-time job. I can't say oh, I used to do that, now I love myself. I've always kind of just embraced my skin tone for what it is. But I have tried a lot of foundations that were the wrong color, and when I was younger and I was just wearing, a lot of cheap makeup, not that there's anything wrong with that, a lot of the products that I talk about today are from the drugstore, but I just had no idea what I was doing, and I would just grab the lightest color no matter what it was and wear it, and it looked not good on me. So let's go ahead and dive right in and talk about my favorite foundations. The first one that I'll talk about is from the drugstore, and I would say this is definitely my favorite drugstore foundation. It's the L'Oreal True Match Lumi. This is W12 Porcelain Ivory, and I'm going to swatch these for you so you all can kind of compare them, but this is the lightest shade of the L'Oreal True Match, and it does, on my wrist, it looks kind of orangey, but it looks really good on my face. It blends out really nicely. I usually use it with a beauty blender, and I just really, really like it. The formula is really nice. It's called Lumi for a reason. It's not like a super dewy formula. It doesn't leave my face looking like a grease ball, but it also is not matte and velvety, which I'm not really into either. So that's the L'Oreal True Match Lumi. That's my favorite drugstore foundation. There it is, kind of next to my skin on my face if you want to see that. My next favorite foundation for fair skin, also from the drugstore, the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Comfort Serum Foundation, and this is in shade 91 Light Ivory. This is, I would say, the lightest drugstore foundation I have found. I just tried this a few weeks ago, and I do like it. I wouldn't say it lasts 25 hours. I'm a nurse and I work 12-hour shifts, and it doesn't quite hold up through my whole shift. My foundation always kind of breaks up around my nose and my chin, but I'll go ahead and swatch this next to the True Match Lumi for you. So that's the True Match Lumi, and that's the Rimmel 25-Hour Foundation. I do like this foundation. It It is not a completely matte finish, but it is definitely full coverage, which I like. I like this for days that I just want to throw something on and not have to worry about it. I like this on days where my skin isn't doing super amazing. The color of it is really good. I don't have to worry about if it's too dark. I never get a line of demarcation on my jaw. It doesn't oxidize. I just really like it. So there are those in the bottle next to each other. Next, I really like the Bare Minerals Bare Skin foundation, and this is the lightest shade, Bare Porcelain. I'll shake it up because you do have to shake it up. I love wearing this in the summertime if my skin's doing really good. If I just want to look dewy, if I just want something to kind of enhance my skin tone. I will put this on. There it is right there. This is definitely a dewy foundation. Even when it's full coverage, even when you build it up, it kind of moves around on your skin. I would say that's something I don't like about it. Like if I wear this and then I like cuddle up to my boyfriend, it gets on his skin. It rubs off on your clothes. It rubs off on your pillowcase. If you lay down to take a nap, I mean, I'm a napper, but that's my only thing that I don't really like about it, but I do like the way that it makes my skin look. Next, my favorite high-end foundation that I've tried so far, I haven't tried a million, is the Marc Jacobs Genius Gel in the shade, what do you know, Ivory Light 10. It is really pretty. I wouldn't call it super full coverage, but look how light that is. Yay! Like, look, I would say this is definitely lighter than all those drugstore foundations, which matters. But hands down my favorite product, period, if I met a girl who was 14, 15, 16, my skin coloring favorite product for fair skin is the Tarte BB Tinted Treatment Primer in Fair. This stuff is so pretty. I've talked about it in my February favorites video. I've talked about it in makeup tutorials. There it is on the bottom. It just gives a wash of color to your skin. More than a tinted moisturizer. I wear this as my foundation a lot of days. I just love it. I'm just crazy about it. It's so pretty. It's the perfect shade. I can wear it, but my friend Amanda, who is also, she's like 2 or 3, maybe 4 shades darker than me in the NARS foundation, I know, just as a point of reference. And she can wear this because it just really matches any skin tone that you put it on in kind of the range. I think there's only 4 of these Tarte BB Tinted Treatment Primers, and it really does a good job of matching. So those are my favorite foundations. And let's talk about one of my favorite just product to make foundations that you have, that you buy, that don't quite work. This is the Manic Panic Dream Tone foundation in Whitest White Virgin. This is technically like a goth foundation beauty product, but it is made to either wear on its own or to mix with your foundations to make them lighter. It is definitely pure white, but I'm not gonna lie, I love the formula of this. It is so creamy. I mean, I really like this formula. There it is on the bottom there. Obviously it's white. I use this, like I'll put a little on right now, kind of under my contour to make it pop. I use this to highlight, but I also use it to mix in with my foundations that are not quite the right color. And let's go ahead and talk about some of those. I have bought foundations that I swore were going to be the right color, and I get home and I try them on, or I put them on in Ulta or Sephora or Walmart, wherever, and I get outside and it's like, whoa, that is orange on me. For example, Tarte, hands down my favorite cosmetics brand. If I could only wear one brand, it would be Tarte. This is the Amazonian Clay 12-hour full coverage foundation, and this is in the shade Ivory. This ivory shade is so dark, and I actually got color matched for this at Ulta. That was why I bought it. The girl put it on me. She said, oh, this is perfect for you. And look how dark and orange that is. It's just, it's not the right color for me. But I'll show you. I'll put a little on the back of my hand now. I really like the formula of this, though. It is super full coverage. I put a little squeeze of this, and you take some of the Manic Panic Dream Tone, and you put about a pump onto it. They're there together. mix it up. Looks super scary, and then it is the perfect shade for my face. Maybe a little bit less Manic Panic, but that's what's nice, is you can just kind of gauge. You can put a little more, put a little less, and once I blended that in, that would be perfect. And they say that you can use up to about a 50-50 ratio of the Manic Panic to whatever foundation you're using, and it doesn't alter the coverage and the finish of whatever foundation you mix it with. So that's kind of cool. This was another product that I learned about from the Taylor on YouTube, and it's just, this is like a holy grail. Have to have this. I love the way it looks as a highlight. I love mixing it in with foundations that just weren't quite light enough. I mix it a lot with my Tarte Amazonian Clay foundation, and also with the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous Fresh Complexion Oil-Free Foundation. This is shade 105 Classic Ivory. Again, it is just way too dark. And orange. Here it is next to that Tarte foundation. And I mean, it's just way too dark and orange for me. But I love the finish of it. I tried it the first day, and it stayed on my face all day and all night. I worked a night shift. It didn't break up around my nose. It absorbed the little oil I get there and on my chin. But it was just a complete wrong color. I just looked orange. And I feel like it got worse throughout the night. So there are foundations that I find that I love the finish of, that I swear are the right color, that are just not the right color. But either I'm too lazy to take them back, or I just decide I want to try it. I want to keep it. Maybe I'll be a little darker in the summer. But then I found this, and it was like, oh my gosh, all these foundations that I have sitting around are like made new again. I've even mixed this in with concealers before to make my concealers lighter. So those are my favorite foundations and ways to kind of alter foundations to make them light enough. So let's talk about my favorite concealers. I have a whole blog post about my favorite concealers, which I will link below. Mostly for under eye use, but let's talk about just my 3 favorite concealers for super fair skin. First is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in Fair. This is light enough. It's not super light and like brightening under your under eyes where it's like white. If you want to go for that look, sometimes I like to go for that look. I would like my under eyes to be lighter than my face, which is already almost white. And the NYX HD Concealer in CW01 Porcelain, and I'll swatch these 3 for you. Now the NYX one is brightening. It is lighter than my skin when I blend it out, and it's kind of a yellow base, which is super brightening under the eyes. And then there's the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Chantilly, which is just my all-time favorite. So here's the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. There is the NYX HD Concealer in CW01 Porcelain, and there is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Chantilly. Those are my favorite concealers. I love the Maybelline one for under my eyes, and also the NARS for under my eyes. And I mostly use the NYX concealer to kind of highlight my face, make my contour pop, go down the bridge of my nose when I'm not using the Manic Panic. I do like to use the Manic Panic for that. And I'll put a picture, I actually posted on Instagram yesterday, of kind of how I use the Manic Panic, where I put it on my face to highlight. Okay, and let's talk about my favorite powders for fair skin. It can be pretty frustrating trying to find a powder to set your face, and especially your under eye area that's light enough, because I could get my foundation all finagled with my Manic Panic, or just the perfect shade like with the Tarte or the Rimmel all over my face, and then put on a powder that's the wrong shade, and that completely alters the shade of your foundation. For instance, I really like the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. It's super cheap. It does keep your face matte. It's a really nice setting powder, but it's just not light enough for me. So my favorite powders to set my face are, for my under eye area and for the high points of my face, Physicians Formula Mineral Wear mineral correcting powder in translucent. I've shown you all this before. It has all those like weird colors, you know, but when you mix it all together, it becomes like basically white, which is so perfect to set your under eyes and the high points of my face. I also have the Ben Nye Super White Face Powder. A lot of people love the Ben Nye Banana Powder to set their under eyes, but that's really good for people with olive skin tones or people kind of from like a beige, you know, skin tone upward, but it looks yellow on my skin. So I really like the Ben Nye Super White Face Powder. Sometimes it's a little bit too white, and I will mix it with, I'll kind of show you on my arm. These, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's the Physicians Formula powder, and there's the Ben Nye powder. And I also have the Ben Nye Luxury powder in a little bigger size, and this is called Rose Petal, and it's so pretty on my skin tone, on fair skin. It's just like a really, really, really super light pink, and it's so creamy and smooth. And something about it is just so brightening, and a lot of times I like to mix it with the super white powder. It almost just, when I put it on my skin, it looks colorless. There it is right there. And I love that to set. I'll really buff it into my skin all over my face, and it almost looks like an Instagram filter. That was another video that I just watched by Wayne Goss, and it's just like such a cool technique that he learned about, where you put on all your makeup as you normally would. Like today, my contour, my highlight, everything is on, and then you really buff in a loose powder over it, and it almost filters your face. It's amazing. I'm going to actually film a video on that, so if you want to watch that, then stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled for that video. But, so the Ben Nye Luxury Powders in Super White and Rose Petal, I really, really like to set my makeup for fair skin. And those are all the powders that I like to set my makeup. So I plan on doing a makeup tutorial soon where I show you kind of all my tips and tricks for really brightening fair skin using the Manic Panic and the Ben Nye powder and all that good stuff. So keep your eyes peeled for that as well. I hope that you all enjoyed this video and that it helped maybe some other fair skin ladies kind of figure out the foundation basics. I know it's hard. I know that people have different undertones. I have a yellow undertone to my skin that you can kind of tell right in here, especially on my chest. But I also have a lot of redness to my skin and a lot of pink. I think once you're this fair, it all kind of evens out in the wash. I'm not trying to say that this is going to work for every single fair-skinned person, or, I mean, it might not work for anyone other than me, but this is what really works for me. These are the foundations and products that I've found over the years that have just become staples for me and that have really helped me accept my skin for what it is and love it. I love that I have fair skin, and I think it's really, really pretty. I think all skin tones are pretty, and you can enhance them to make them look beautiful, and these are just the ways that I have found to best enhance my own particular skin tone. So if you all have any questions, please post them below. Thank you so much for watching, and if you subscribe to my channel, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And if you're not already subscribing, please do. I will see you all very soon. I plan on filming some more videos today, actually, so keep your eyes peeled for those, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.
If I came this way.